After a series of silent but interpretive Christmas tidbits from a dim lake, a warm kitchen, a hidden holiday to a luxury car at night, the public thought the story would die down. But just as the calendar moves toward the days after Christmas, a more emotional follow-up narrative emerges. Cha Eun-woo and Moon Jae-young's alleged togetherness just before he returns to serve his military duty. This moment is not just new gossip. For netizens, he felt like an inevitable epilogue, a logical, silent, meaning-laden meeting, publicly compiled chronology. From Christmas to the threshold of conscription, netizens rearrange pieces of time. Christmas with alleged closed meetings. The silent post-Christmas days of uploads. A night movement that conjures up photos of luxury cars. A short window of time before the scheduled return to the draft. In public reading, it is this window that makes the most sense for a final meeting, not to show off but to say goodbye. Why does this moment feel different? Different from previous rumors that triggered a sensation, this moment ahead of the draft invites empathy. Many consider that, if there really is togetherness, it is not a dramatic romance but emotional support. The comments that circulated also changed the tone. If it does meet, hopefully it strengthens. No need for photos. No proof needed. The public seemed to understand that the threshold of separation is a space worthy of respect. Small traces considered too synchronous. There are no photos of the two. There is no clear location. But netizens pointed to the little things, interspersed offline patterns, delayed uploads with a similar atmosphere, activity that disappears at the same hour. Again, there is no single proof, but synchronization makes the conjecture stronger. Cha Eun-woo, between responsibility and silence towards his re-enlistment, the spotlight on Cha Eun-woo usually increases. But this time he actually relaxed the exposure. The media read this attitude as focus on obligations, maintain mental state. Lock down the private space before the period of military discipline. Resumes. In this context, the alleged pre-draft meeting is understood as an emotional cover, not a material sensation. Moon Jae-young and narrative support. Moon Jae-young is back, but with a softer frame. Not as the center of rumors, but a figure associated with tranquility. Netizens assess that if there is really togetherness, the role is closer to the friends present, not gossip figures. This narrative contrasts with the beginning of the rumors and instead feels more mature. Media restraint. Fans keep limits. Some media choose reflective titles, avoiding loud claims. The fanbase is active. Please do not post private photos. Filter out speculative uploads. Keep the discussion ethical. This phenomenon is rare and indicates a shift in the culture of rumor consumption. Nighttime cars. Again, reinterpreted photos of luxury cars that had sparked a sensation are now being reread. Not a glamorous symbol, but rather a mobile safe space, a place where one could duck, breathe, and close a chapter before returning to the harsh routine of conscription. Its meaning shifted from sensation to humanity. Is there any clarification? So far, there is no official statement. And the public seems ready to accept that. In Korean entertainment culture, silence is often a decision to protect, not obscure. Long-term impact. Stories that change tone. Observers assess this circuit leaves traces. The media is cautious, fans are more protective. Private limits are more appreciated, at least temporarily. And for these two big names, the story may be remembered as the moment when the public chose to stop before it hurt. Epilogue. Before the uniform, there was silence. If there really is togetherness ahead of the draft, the public may never know the details. And maybe it's not necessary. Because not all moments have to be proven to be meaningful. Between the Christmas that passes and the uniform that awaits, silence can be the most honest language. Editor's note. This article is compiled based on a series of previous news, public observation, and netizen discussion. There are no claims of confirmed facts regarding the personal relationships of the parties mentioned. On the eve of Cha Eun-woo's return to the routine of military service, the timeline moves slowly again. No private uploads. No long greetings. But it is precisely the absence of it that makes the public more sensitive. Netizens notice one narrow window of time, a few hours in the evening where online activity is both equally quiet. To the public, this feels like a deliberate farewell room to be kept quiet. Locations without names, stories without photos. Different from the initial rumors that gave rise to a visual location, the alleged meeting ahead of the draft is almost without a visual trace. There is no lake. There is no restaurant. There are no photo cuts. That there is only anonymous testimony without details. Felt time synchronization. A public narrative that relaxes demands for evidence. Ironically, precisely because there are no visuals, this story feels more personal. Why did this moment explode despite the lack of evidence? The answer is simple: emotional context. Conscription is understood by the public as a long period, strict discipline, and a real distance. Then the alleged togetherness before that is read as a reasonable human moment. Anyone will want to meet people nearby before leaving, wrote one netizen. The sentence received thousands of approvals, body language that is invisible, but perceived. Although there are no photos, the public still reads body language through patterns. Consistent silence, no hard objections, no defensive clarification, all of them are interpreted as deliberate calm, not fear. Moon Jae-young, present without taking up space in this continued narrative. Moon Jae-young reappears with a unique position. Present but not dominating the story. Netizens more often mention his name in context. Emotional support, togetherness that does not need to be announced, the role of man, not the figure of sensation. Many judge that, if there really is a meeting, it is not to be seen but to be felt by those involved. Night car. A symbol of travel, not escape. Photos of luxury cars that were crowded again pulled into a new context. It is now understood as the journey to a strenuous routine. Silent room before uniform transition from short freedom to long discipline. Its meaning becomes more symbolic than sensational. Media and the public reach a point of balance. Interestingly, there was no surge in aggressive news. The media wrote in a waiting tone. Public discussion without forcing. It's a rare moment when the media does not race. Netizens are not hunting. Stories are allowed to breathe. Is this the real cover? Many believe yes. Not because everything is clear, but because the emotion of the story is complete. From Christmas, silent togetherness, hidden holidays, night cars, to the threshold of conscription, this plot feels complete. Not complete because of the evidence, except for meaning. Long epilogue. Before the distance, there is a choice. If there really was togetherness before returning to the military, the public may never know what words were said. And maybe that's no one's business. In a world that demands clarification, choosing silence can be a form of courage. And when the uniform is put back on, this story will stay as a brief echo of two human beings who, for a moment, chose togetherness without the spotlight. After various speculations developed, one thing became clear to the public: Cha Eun-woo has not returned to military service. This fact actually changed the way netizens read the entire series of events after Christmas. Instead of the last goodbye meeting, the narrative shifts to something no less intense. Togetherness in the midst of limited time, when personal schedules, professional obligations, and the public spotlight collide with each other. Time is not long, but full of meaning. Netizens think that precisely because Cha Eun-woo has not returned to the military, every moment outside the official schedule feels more valuable. In this context, the alleged togetherness with Moon Jae-young after Christmas is read as infrequent use of leisure time, efforts to find calm before the heavy routine returns, deliberately guarded private space from cameras, not saying goodbye, but rather taking a breath before returning to harsh reality. The trail of movement is still different from the usually silent goodbye narrative. This period is actually colored by small movements that are still caught on the public's radar. Night activities with minimal documentation, delayed uploads with a calm feel, the luxury car that has re-emerged as a symbol of private mobility. Netizens judge this indicates that he is still outside, but with full vigilance. Moon Jae-young, being present in the midst of busy life, not at the point of separation. With the correction that Cha Eun-woo has not returned to the military, Moon Jae-young's position in the public narrative changes. He is no longer read as a figure who accompanies farewell, but rather figures present on the sidelines of the rush, close friends in the transition phase, a figure associated with calm, not drama. This narrative feels more realistic and actually more acceptable.